We're gonna watch the insane Palworld Nintendo lawsuit update made by the one and only SomeOrdinaryGamers, Palworld. So talking about what I know about the lawsuit, I heard that basically there was like this patent or something that Nintendo like bought years and years and years ago, where basically it's like, oh yeah, any game that has a mechanism where I don't know, fucking monsters get saved into balls after you throw it at them, or like the pattern of like, oh yeah, throwing a ball at a monster is like hours now, so yeah, fuck you or something like that. It was super vague, it was weird. Exactly, yeah, haha balls. And now they're suing Palworld over that. I don't know what the heck is going on aside from that, but you know what, maybe this video is going to give us a little bit more insight into it, so let's check it out.
Hello guys and gals, me Mudahar, and yeah, there's an insane update to that Palworld Nintendo lawsuit. Now I told you after I looked at this thing like 4 months ago, I was gonna be keeping an eye on it. And today, there's been some pretty massive updates, and it's to a point where we now know exactly why Nintendo is taking down the old Palworld train.
Oh my.
Now, to give an idea, Palworld is an independent game that was released about a year ago.
Yeah.
By Pocket Pair, and it's effectively a game that is just literally Pokemon with guns, okay? And to give you an idea of how much of a, comparison it is, Nintendo may use the statement I just gave in an actual legal case.
What?
Because quite literally, if you play Palworld, it is just the Pokemon IP with guns attached to it. Now, I was not to say it's a bad thing. Plenty of people enjoyed it, me included. Plenty of other gamers out there. Plenty of other content creators.
Except
it is in fact a game that now has come out on PlayStation.
Except it's a fucking survival game with multiple different biomes that has building opportunities and bases and stuff. And yeah, sure, it's Pokemon with guns if you take the fact in that their designs might be similar, but literally everything else is completely different. You could turn humans into slaves. Palworld is so different from Pokemon. Pokemon would never do shit like that, bro. What do you mean I can turn a random ass human that I found on the streets into my slave? What do you mean I can tell my little, pals or whatever you want to fucking call them, Pokemon, to make machineries and weapons for me and I don't know, make ammo and stuff? What the fuck? What?
Xbox, and people are just actually enjoying it. Now, with all of the people enjoying Palworld, it's no doubt in my mind that obviously it is pretty close to Pokemon, okay? I mean, you've got some similar looking mobs,
yeah.
You've got the entire content of us throwing Pal balls at Pokemon and capturing them with, shakes, 3 shakes, guaranteed capture, and whatnot.
They're not wrong about the 3 shakes,
Pokemon has been making games with kind of similar, mechanics.
Yeah, kind of.
Like the Arceus Legend game, and even like the new Pokemon Violet Scarlet with like its more open world design. Even though the open world looks like it's straight out of 2002, but hey, that's a whole different story. Now, here Pocket Pair comes out and it's like, boys, September 19th, Pokemon Company and Nintendo files a patent infringement lawsuit. Now, a patent infringement lawsuit is basically some type of gameplay or technology that has been discovered by any company that has effectively been patented, so only they, for a certain period of time, can use that technology in their video game.
I'm the only person that can throw balls.
Details of the lawsuit. The plaintiff claims that Palworld, released to us on January 19, 2024, infringes, well, actually, it wasn't even a year ago. I actually thought it was a year ago. Time does fly. Infringes upon the following 3 patents held by the plaintiffs. And they're seeking an injunction against the game and compensation for a portion of the damages incurred between the date of registration of the patents and the date of filing of this lawsuit. So, if you look at the actual patents over here real quick, they've got 3 different patents, number 754-5191, 749-3117, and 752-8390. Now, I pulled up each one of these patents, but they also provided the application dates and, of course, the registration dates. So if you look carefully at these dates, they're...
Excuse me? Are you telling me that Nintendo applied for these patents and registered for these patents months after the game's release? You're telling me that they were like, oh, I don't like the fact that this other company has this idea that looks kind of like ours, so let's make it illegal. You're telling me that they asked for it after the game was fucking released for months, And the thing is, right, is that from what I remember, the developers of Palworld have been showing off Palworld for years. Like, it's not something that just popped up out of nowhere. Like, yes, the game popped up out of nowhere because it was in pre-release. The moment that it fucking dropped, everybody's like, oh my god, this is actually quite fun. But they were teasing it beforehand. It's not something that came out like randomly. They even fucking got into contact, from what I remember. They got into contact with Nintendo about the whole thing somehow, some way. And they were like, hey, is this okay? And Nintendo kind of gave them like the, oh yeah, whatever, I don't give a shit type of thing, right? So you're telling me that they applied for patents after the game was already fucking released for months. And then they were like, oh, but by the way, we have the rights to these patents. Like, you know, so now the game that you made in the past is not allowed to exist anymore because yeah, we legally don't allow it anymore. What? I'm betting they didn't expect it to be popular. Yes, and that's what's scummy about that. Because Nintendo has gotten lazy. Nintendo has gotten fucking like self-centered. They're pieces of shit at this point. And I know that's rude to say, but everything that they do is just to make money. They release like games and then they remove them off of the store, shit like that, where the things where they did with the like the 3DS and stuff, where the Wii U, where they close the stores afterwards and they're like, oh, you wanna buy games on your 3DS? Not allowed anymore because we're gonna close the internet store, so you can't get it. I know that it's a really, really old console, but if I dare see you hack your fucking console, we're going to kill you in Minecraft. You know? And it's like, what do you mean? What do you mean you're gonna 1v1 me because I decided to like crack the game that I wanted to buy from you, but I'm not allowed to because it's not available? What? Huh? And then they like do this stuff where they only ever make plushies. They make like a shit ton of merch. They made like the most recent, like they had like recently they had the fucking Pokemon card game that released on mobile. They have like the clock, right, that they released with like, oh yeah, it's $100 fucking alarm clock with Nintendo sounds and Nintendo music. You can have the fucking fairies from Breath of the Wild fucking wake you up in the morning with moans. You want that? You want that? Corpa Borpa, right? They do all of that shit. They release all of these like random ass apps and like all of the fucking, you know, plushies and stuff. And then when they actually tried to make a game and the game is dog shit, trash, garbanzo, everybody's like mad at them and they're like, bro, can you at least put a little bit of extra time into maybe like making something that the community is going to like? They go like, you know what, suck a dick. And okay, Zelda's a bit different. They do that pretty well. At the same time, it's not 100% what they like, what some of the community members asked for, like with the most recent one where the Zelda was the main character instead of Link and blah blah blah. A lot of people were like, but why is it Zelda, huh? I don't care, whatever, it's fine. It's just Nintendo do whatever the fuck they want. But when it comes to like creating new stuff, creating new IPs, being creative, they're not like that anymore. Everything is just a copy. Nintendo's like Minecraft, Mario fucking shit, right? Mario number 1, Mario number 2, Mario number 3, Mario Bros, Mario Supernatural, Mario Stars, Mario whatever, right? No innovation, no nothing. Whenever they ask like, hey, can you please make some changes to Pokemon? Can you please add some new things? It's like, you know what? Here's another copy of our game that we released like 15 years ago that's even worse and the graphics are ass and it's buggy as fuck. What do you mean? Here's a remake. Yeah, literally. And then now they have this thing that, oh, you want to play our games that are not available in like real life anymore because we make everything digitally. You want to play that? You're gonna have to spend like $130 every single year or month, whatever, to be able to play them online because you have no other way of doing it unless you bought the physical copies back in 1985, of which you're most likely not fucking alive back then. What the hell do you mean? Like, I don't know, man. It's just everything is kind of shitty when it comes to Nintendo's like the way that they're dealing with stuff right now, and it just feels like instead of being a company that wants to create new things and be like, you know, fun and creative and making new games and all that other stuff, they just care about money, which is kind of sad, but it is what it is, I guess.
They're past, you know, the actual game's release. So you might be like, whoa, how the fuck can you patent something after the game that you're suing has been released, okay? How can you patent something after it and then sue them for damages before the filing of that patent?
Literally.
Well, to give an idea, I've pulled up each and every single one of those patents real quickly. So right over here, you can basically Google this up in on Google Patents, and they'll tell you every single one of these available. Now, if you look very carefully, they've actually been patents that have been applied as of 2021. So each 3 of these patents has an actual application in 2021, where the legal status is active for all of them. So these are more patent updates, I believe, rather than like fresh new patents. If these were fresh from the actual patent oven, then obviously we would probably look at this and say Nintendo's just overextending. But clearly they had these in place. So I wanted to look at some of these actual patents real quick.
I still feel like they're overextending. Ain't gonna lie. Maybe I'm just a Nintendo asshole, because I really loved Nintendo in the past. Like, oh my god, most of my first ever console was a Wii U, or a Wii, sorry. My first ever handheld was the DSi. I fucking love Nintendo back in the day. Oh my gosh, everything was amazing. They had so many games. All of it was sick, and now it's just booty cheeks.
I can look at exactly what Nintendo is going for. So for instance, in patent JP754519-1B1, it's going for a game program, game system, game device, or a game processing method, okay? So the abstract. The problem is to provide a game program, game system, game device, and game processing method that can cause a player character to perform various types of actions on a field in a virtual space.
What?
In a first mode, the aiming direction of the virtual space is determined based on the second operation input, and the player character is caused to fire an item that affects a field character arranged on the field in the virtual space in the aiming direction based on a third operation input.
What?
So it sounds kind of confusing in a way, so they provided some visual explanation.
Are you fucking joking? That's every single handheld item that you throw at others. That's nades, sticky bombs, anything. What? They patented catching? Yeah, what do you mean? Throwing items at people is not allowed? Are you joking?
For this entire scenario, right? And obviously, if you look at these patents,
every single
it's kind of what people
game
speculated
that has
back in September,
throwing
right?
items
They were
at another
probably
player
going for the whole
or another
Pokeball
thing.
situation, which is where your character gets ready in the wild, throws the actual Pokeball at the field character, which is a Pokemon in the wild, captures said Pokemon with that actual Pokeball, all right? They even get a little visual response that says, "Good job, pal, you did it!" Or the Pokemon escapes and you're basically fucked. So obviously, the further you go down this patent too, we're looking at even battles that are happening in the wild and Pokemon that appear to also be on your side. And of course, the further we go down into this scenario, you can start to look at other actual situations. What? So then you look at the other patents in this case, right? Which again, simulating properties, behavior, or motions of objects in the game world. For example, computing tire load in a car race game using determination of contact between the game characters or objects to avoid collision between virtual racing cars. And for the next one over here.
What? What?
Here, obviously, we've got computing the motion of game characters with respect to other game characters, game objects, or elements of a game scene. For simulating the behavior of a group of virtual soldiers, or for pathfinding, basically, I guess, bots that appear to follow you in the field, your player character. So you...
Huh? You're telling me that people are not allowed to make NPCs follow quests anymore because of Nintendo patenting it? Every single RPG in the list is just instantly oh, you're getting sued. You're getting sued. It's Jover for you. What? How is that? That should not be allowed. That should not be allowed. What I think should be allowed is I understand the outer appearance of stuff. I understand designs. I understand names, right? You can't fucking take Mario Kart and then just slap it onto a different game and call it Mario Kart, you know? You can't do that, right? Are you fucking joking? Also, I'm so sorry about the... I'm so sorry about the police car or whatever that is outside. My bad. Weeble! Yeah, what the heck? That's allowed? NPCs, Final Fantasy games, Nintendo owned, literally.
You can have a Pokemon effectively trail you. Now, the way that I have seen these kind of provided is if you want to even apply these to actual gameplay terms and not legal patent terms, Basically, it appears that you're talking about throwing a Pokeball into the wild to capture another Pokemon or field character. That's one of the actual patents. The other one is throwing a character outside into the wild so they can then participate in the fight. And of course, last but not least, apparently even mounting a character for specific zones. So if you wanted to fly on the back of a Pokemon, you can do that in the wild.
All of the Final Fantasy mounts. The mounts are dead. It's over, guys. Pack your bags. Final Fantasy, Jover for you. Get the fuck out of here.
Now, I think patents in video games are a little absurd. Okay, the first two, throwing a Pokeball and using it in the wild, I'm sure Pokemon probably has some claim to that, or maybe they could dock really heavily. But mounting a character and like using it for transportation, I mean, dog. This is something that World of Warcraft provides its gamers like every single day.
Yeah.
They've been doing it long before Pokemon even had the idea in 3D space. So at this moment in time, to me, it seems like a lawsuit that's targeting a smaller company. And I'm sure that if they really had a problem with this, they might even consider taking Activision Blizzard or Microsoft.
Yeah.
Until you realize that Microsoft is worth like over 10 times what Nintendo is, and even Activision Blizzard is no small company to go up against when it comes to lawsuits. So again, it really feels...
So they're literally just targeting Palworld 100% because like these patents are not going to do anything for fucking World of Warcraft or like anybody that's bigger than them, Microsoft or Blizzard, right? Because it doesn't matter to them, because if Nintendo decided to lawsuit them, they were gonna lose no matter what. Like even if they win the lawsuit in the end, they still have more money than them. Trying to sue those and they're dead. Yeah, literally. So they're just trying to fuck up a smaller company. How greedy can you be? How much of a piece of shit company can you be to do stuff like this? Oh, so small creators are not allowed to do that, but big creators, they're fine because we can't touch them. What?
Feels like we're targeting the small fries here.
No, that's fucked.
So again, when it came to
so that means that they're trying to do this monopoly shit. And whenever there's like a new game that has anything that is similar to those patents, they're just gonna fucking laser beam it out of the sky. Like, it's like, oh, you're trying to fly high? Nah, bro, get down to the floor. Like, you're not going to be able to make any new games or companies because all the small ones are going to just instantly get shut down. So it's going to be a monopoly. That's fucked up. What? Nah.
The summary of the claim, what they seek for is a payment of 5 million yen plus to the Pokemon company and also to the Nintendo company. Now that's around $45,000 like Canadian. So again, multiply that by 2, you're looking at like maybe I want to say 60,000 American, 65,000 around that point.
Honestly, that's not that bad. In comparison to the amount of money Palworld made, that's not that bad. But the fact that they're asking money for this is ridiculous.
And you might be like, that's really not a whole lot of money. Surely Palworld has made more than that. They clearly have. And the thing is, it's not even the money that's the important part. It's this, an injunction against Palworld.
What?
Now, because these are two Japanese corporations that are going against each other, an injunction could mean a lot of things. They could literally go up to Palworld and say, hey, listen, that whole like throwing the Pokeball mechanic, we want it gone. And that would be kind of devastating because it's an incredibly important part of the Palworld game. Like imagine if, Konami, when they were releasing Metal Gear, decided to, I guess, patent the idea of field of vision cones. Like imagine the Solitar...
Wait, guys, if they make it into a triangle... If they make it into a pyramid, right? If they make it into like a pyramid shape instead, can they do that? Or like a square or something? So yeah, if they make it like this or like into a fucking cube or something, is that allowed? I think that's allowed, right? Right? 4 clicks instead of 3, yeah.
On radar system with like all of the actual points, like the actual, cone of visions on people.
That's too good. You're right, that too.
And you had other game developers jump in, like stealth action game developers, people like Splinter Cell, they're like, we want to put in a map with cones of visions, and they decided, no, we want all of this gone. Imagine if you were actually targeting situations similar to it. I mean, it would be absurd, but when you kind of really think about it, it's pretty comparable to what Nintendo has done in this scenario. Now, obviously, Palworld, they're going to fight this through legal proceedings, and I think the actual first case is going to be like next week.
What?
which is going to be insane to witness. Obviously, I want to converse with Japanese lawyers that probably know more about the situation as it happens. Obviously, you know, I'm talking about like the translation issues, just because this is a Japanese case and having it translated basically in real time is a pretty daunting task. Now, again, anything legal that I've said in this video, I don't want it to constitute as actual advice or understanding. I'm a fucking idiot. I'm a cybersecurity guy. Clearly, this is incredibly complex Japanese patent law.
Yeah.
And whether Nintendo wins or not,
it's
entirely up in the air. Obviously, Nintendo is one of the biggest companies in Japan, and I'm sure that comes with a bit of legal favoritism in its regard.
I hate that.
But look, this is a situation that, from what Nintendo is showing, is just, it appears literally to be bullying. Now, obviously, Nintendo, in my opinion, I think they're bullying these guys. But clearly, Palworld, Pocket Pair knew they flew way too close to the sun on this one, okay? Like, it's one thing to make a ripoff of, like, a Legend of Zelda type game. It's another thing to go...
And you know what's the funniest thing ever, right? Nintendo could have just been straight up about this when they first, like, decided to, you know, release the first trailers or, like, mention it online. Like, hey, by the way, we're planning to make a kind of Pokemon-esque game, but then with guns, haha. Nintendo could have stepped in and be like, hey... You know, we don't really appreciate that. Would it be okay if we could, like, you know, talk together and maybe try to see, like, a different way for you guys to release your game and, you know, get a little bit, like, get to a understanding ground that we can both go continue onwards with? But then they're like, nah, you know what? Let's just make the public hate us by fucking putting out a lawsuit for a smaller company that made it big, because we don't want them to make games that are more, you know, better than ours. The fuck? Like, they went like, you know what? Nintendo hasn't been looking that good recently. We're kind of losing stocks, and the only thing that's making us money is merch at this point. And, like, maybe it would be smart to, like, you know, make some games and develop some stuff that might actually be nice for our community and the people that enjoy our games. No. Let's just bully other creators because we don't want them to be better than us. And this is a threat. This is a threat to us, guys. We can't do this. What? Nah. Ridiculous. Nah, Nintendo's now like the people that put false copyright claims on YouTube videos. I get that all the time. There was this like one video, I think you guys remember it. It was the Stephen He video, and this like random ass fucking group, I don't know what their name was anymore, I don't care, I'm not gonna be naming them, it was like a 500,000 view video, right? It would have made like $1,000 fucking bucks if I had gotten it. And then this random group was like, hey, that's our video, we own fucking Stephen He. Not true, by the way, because I went online and so many people were like, yeah, these guys are like grabbing all my videos and they're pretending that it's theirs, but that's not true, blah 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 blah. It was so crazy. And yeah, I did not have the monetization for that video because some random fucking homie just decided to take it, and that happened to a lot of other videos as well. A lot of other reacts. It was so stupid. It happens all the time with YouTube creators. It's really sad. But yeah, like, I don't know, man. Like, this whole thing with Nintendo is honestly devastating. For the future, I feel like it would be really, really bad for future people and, like people that want to create games or game companies and stuff like that. I feel like it's going to be hard, honestly. It's going to be difficult.
After the throat of Pokemon, one of the biggest media franchises in gaming, if not the world. So yeah, this is not something that I expected. It's not something that I didn't expect to see. It's glad that we've got some light shed on what the actual patents were. And now that we know, it just shows Nintendo as one of the pettiest fucking companies in this regard. And look, if they're hitting so specifically, it explains why Nintendo hasn't even touched, you know, other publishers or other games like Temtem in this case, even though they also kind of ape that Pokemon dynamic. Yeah. It's because they literally felt that at least in 2 of the patents, it's pretty damn close. But if we're talking about mounting animals, why are we not mad at World of Warcraft? Hell, to be honest, why are we not mad at World of Warcraft for even the Battle Pets mechanic, which was introduced well after Pokemon was already patenting it, from my understanding? You know, is it that they don't want to take on Microsoft's legal team because they know that's absolutely a lengthy battle that Nintendo probably doesn't want to add to their actual expense sheet?
Of course not.
Or is it going after Pocket Pair to make an example out of a smaller developer, trying to, you know, work with these ideas. And, you know, even to like Pocket Pair, they're not people that will sit down and tell you we made this game, you know, completely independent of like Pokemon's inspiration. I mean, these people literally produced a game they thought would be an amazing, you know, combination. You know, Pokemon with guns. Clearly, it was. It sold a lot.
Yeah, absolutely.
And so I guess Nintendo missed out on the gravy train, and boom, now they want to actually punish the people that are providing
That's so stupid.
The fans, the ex-fans of Pokemon, I guess,
people that like
want,
decided
you know,
to make
the
a good
Pokemon
game
company to actually
instead of
produce
improving
good
our
games.
own shit.
You know, they're going after people that are providing the gamers with what they want, which I think is just absurd. Honestly, reading all of this and realizing patents in general for video gaming, you know, it just comes across as some of the most destructive shit. It's literally preventing actual progress in gaming from kind of happening, in my opinion, in some cases at least. You know, when you talk about like evil corpo shit, this is literally what it is. And I think, to be honest, like another reason why I feel Nintendo really went after them is kind of because of, you know, Pocket Pair's insistence on working with Sony, another direct competing, console manufacturer in the region. I'm not even including Microsoft in this because really Nintendo is going up against Sony. And Microsoft. And I think honestly it feels like kind of a slight. It's like Sony has literally taken this mature version of Pokemon and have turned it kind of into their household name.
Nintendo is just losing creativity. Look at this. How many years since the last console? Honestly, yeah, it's crazy. Wait, when did the Nintendo Switch come out? Like a decade ago? Oh my god, I can't fucking Nintendo Switch. I can't fucking type. Release date. It's literally been almost a decade. That is insane. That is fucking crazy. Holy shit.
From the, you know,
and like the crazy stuff is, right? Let's see this, right? DS. DSi. Holy fuck, look at that. 4 years, guys. Crazy, right? Okay, we continue on. And this is not counting like in between releases, right? 2004, 2008, 2011, right? New 3DS release date. 2011 to 2014. Oh my god, crazy. They released a new console every 4 years. Every 4 years, and maybe even less. This is 3 years. Okay, no, it's in Japan 2008 and then this one's 2009. So yeah, every 4 years they release a new fucking console. And then they had the fucking Wii, right? Oh my god, 2006 Wii U. And that's just like handhelds, right? Like I'm not even counting all of their consoles. This is like just the basic shit that we are aware of. And you're telling me that they have been releasing this many fucking consoles and things and now it's taken them an entire fucking decade to release anything new? Like that's insane. They just don't care.
Association business-wise. So I feel like there's a lot of stuff at play here. And to be honest with you, it's just kind of gross to see corporations kind of doing this.
Yeah, no, it is. Absolutely.
You know, I always think that when it comes to competition, producing the better quality, the most, you know, the prized game that people actually want to go for should be the standard. And yes, Palworld flew way too close to the sun. But I honest to God don't believe that the market that is playing Pokemon with guns, you know... It really is a missed opportunity by Nintendo. It really just feels like salty stuff. But anyways, ladies and gentlemen, this is me, Mudahar, and if you like what you saw, please like, comment, and subscribe. Just like it. If you dislike it, I am out.
Let's go. Okay, that was a really good video. We yapped a shit ton, honestly. Go check out Mudahar, SomeOrdinaryGamers. Go check him out. That was a really good video. Honestly, I am very curious to see what the fuck is gonna happen with Nintendo in the short future, and I really hope that even though if Palworld might not win the overall lawsuit, I do hope that their Nintendo is going to be getting some type of shit back, like Yahoo, you know, like get fucked. Honestly, I don't know. We're gonna see. But yeah, that was a really good video. If Nintendo wants to do a better version of Pokemon's and not being jealous about other companies, they should work at frame rates, better visuals, and use their imagination and create something new and special to Pokemon mechanics. Yeah, no, absolutely. I agree. Absolutely. Today's consoles can stream remote play any device. What do you mean? As in, like, today's consoles are a lot better than the ones in the past, so they're like using that all this extra time to work on that. Switch 2 is rumored to have the power of the PS4. The PS4. You're a decade late. There's no fucking way. There is no fucking way